Yo, boys, if your girl doesn't get wet, like, a couple seconds into making out with her, like, if you in general just don't get your girl extremely wet as a man, it's a really good sign that you could probably become more badass. And I know this is like a drastic take, like, to measure your badassness based on, like, how wet you can get your girl. But think about it. Don't you want to be a man who, like, could just, like, touch his girl and, like, within one kiss, she is just soaking wet? She may never, like, tell you this, you know, but you can kind of, like, if you know girls, you can kind of understand it. Get her just, like, flooded and feral about you. I don't think there's any man, and any guy who's, like, watching this right now, he's, like, kind of, like, weirded out. He's like, ew, this is strange. Dude, you're just lying to yourself. Like, straight up, you're lying to yourself. Every single guy wants this. Every single guy wants to be able to say, dude, within just one kiss, I can make my girl go feral. Now, like, I think, I'm setting up my little tripod so I can drive home with you guys. I think that, like, men are becoming more castrated than ever before. Like, I really think men nowadays, they're castrated, but they have their balls on. What I mean by that is, like, there's just so much in today's society that is making men weak, making men less of a man than they could become. Like, I guarantee you, your ancestors, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, I guarantee you, they were so fucking badass and so unique and so sophisticated because they had real life to live and they didn't have the ability to make excuses or doom scroll all day, and they didn't have the option to become nobody. They had to become somebody. I guarantee you, our ancestors probably had some of the best sex ever. Guarantee you. Like, I'm telling you, today's sex sucks compared to what it was hundreds of years ago. Sex is a part of life. Any of you guys getting weirded out too right now? Like, oh, he's gonna talk about sex. It's the biggest part of life. God gave it to us as one of the most beautiful things ever. And don't you want to be sexy as fuck? Don't you want to have amazing sex one day? Don't you want your partner to just be, like, so insanely into you because of how much of a man you are, because how sexy you are? I know I want that. I know some of you guys probably want that as well. And you're like, yeah, Ryan, I want to get bad as fuck. I want to be able to touch my girl and she just gets soaked. I know some of you guys are just weirded out and you already clicked off because you don't want to level up, quite honestly, but it's the truth. A lot of men don't want to level up. A lot of men, I've come to discover this, and here's a little story of what happened earlier. I'm going to try to drive around without this camera getting too bumpy, possibly. It might get too bumpy. It's going to get bumpy. Here, we'll sit here for a minute. I had this call earlier with this guy. He wanted to hop on a call. He reached out to me in my DMs, and he wanted to get some coaching. I do coaching. I do fitness coaching, personal development coaching, kind of. And he seemed like a perfect fit for everything. And then as soon as it comes time to, like, take action on his goals, he hangs up. He straight up hangs up. Call goes amazing. He's in a good spot to do it. Everything's fine, right? I can help him. Like, it's fully fleshed out. This is perfect. We can make it happen financially. And he hangs up. Now, I don't really care. It's not my life. It's not my goals. It's not my fucking physique. And that's the type of guy that would probably not get results inside the coaching either. But I just thought to myself, like, how could you be a type of man who says all this shit to himself, who says he's going to do something, says he's going to change, says he's going to take action, he talks the talk, but then doesn't walk the walk? How can you be that type of man? He's mentally castrated is what it is. That's where a lot of men are. They are mentally castrated. They're so scared to go after their goals. They're so scared to be themselves. They're so scared to head into the direction of fear. They're just like, they have low testosterone. They have a low testosterone mindset. That's simply all it is. And your girl can sense that on you. Girls can sense that shit on you, bro. What a girl really wants is a nice guy who can also be a killer. So it's like a guy who can be nice and be a gentleman and be kind, but also be a killer. Now, most men are nice because most men were raised in, like, single mother households, or their mother only raised them and their dad wasn't really there. And so they kind of been taught their entire life that men, we have to please women, right? if you shouldn't piss off your woman. And everything's about pleasing your woman. That's the biggest mistake you can make. You should be focused on pleasing your fucking self. But a lot of men, they have a misconstrued conception of life. And they become the fraction of a man that they could become. Hold on, guys. I need to pop my post-workout nicotine. Oh, there's none left. Fuck! We need to go to the store. Alright, let's get rolling. I gotta head home and eat. Are you a Mr. Officer? You look like an officer. Ooh. Hang on. I'm gonna push you guys up a bit more. Oh, there we go. I say this because when I look at the average man, I am very concerned for the future of the generation. And I'm sure you may be concerned as well of the future of this generation, or maybe even where you're heading, and not really sure what to do. Because I know that's the way I felt for a long time. I was really scared, quite honestly. But my dad implanted some good teachings inside of me. A couple words: stick to your word as a man. Look me in the eyes. Don't back down. Never quit was a big one. There's times I wanted to quit playing violin because I thought it was gay, and he would scream at me and be like, "Don't fucking quit." Because he quit his whole life, I guess. And so even though he wasn't the example of a man that I really needed, he gave a lot of good wisdom. And that's what helped me, I guess, get to where I am in life, where everything's really going my way. Have a beautiful girlfriend, have a beautiful life, beautiful car. Life's just amazing. I don't need to talk about it too much. All right, but it's everything I ever wanted. And I'm more badass than I ever thought I could become. And I will say this: your problems will never go away. You're always gonna have problems. Why are you driving like an asshole, yo? You don't need to speed that motherfucking fast, G. Your problems will never go away. You're always gonna have problems. And so it's like, when are you gonna realize, and I say this because I see this, but my dad used to complain all the time about problems this, problems that. I'm like, hey, haven't you realized over the past so many years that you're always gonna have problems? So first off, get used to them. Second off, just become better at solving them. Again, if you guys out there complaining about, oh, I have this problem, that problem, and that's why I can't do this, that, and the third, you think there's anything holding you back? When are you gonna realize there will always be problems, there will always be issues, there will always be things holding you back, and guess what? You can only solve those so quick. But what you can get better at is becoming a better problem solver, is taking more action, is moving into the direction of fear so you grow faster, is stepping outside your comfort zone and actually getting men around you. Because this is what really castrates men. And this is exactly why your girl's drier than a fucking Sahara desert on a Saturday night. And she doesn't want to just climb all over you. It's because most men, they just surround themselves with like yes men. And so it may look like this. It's like you have a couple comfortable friends around you that you hang out here and there with. And then you got your girlfriend. And you probably hang out with your girlfriend most of the time, or you probably hang out with your girl most of the time. Right? If you surround yourself with like woman and comfortable friends, that's gonna turn you into a woman. That's why your girl's getting wet as fuck, dude. That's why she isn't obsessed over you. Because you're a woman. You hang out with her too much. You surround yourself with yes men. You don't surround yourself with any men above you because probably makes you insecure. I get it. That's how I used to feel. I used to hate going into those rooms with men that were better than me because it would make me insecure. Because I would now look at myself and be like, fuck, dude, I'm actually not that good. You know, I would come in on a high, on an ego high, be like, I feel great about myself. Boom, come out of there. Be like, damn, I have a lot of work to do. But that's good. You want to feel like that. If you feel like you are the biggest man in the room, the best man in the room, if you feel like your ego isn't getting fucking broken down every single day, you're not growing. It's as simple as that. Negative emotions are signs of growth. You ever had a growth spurt? It fucking hurts. You ever go to the gym and try to grow muscle? It fucking hurts. You ever try to lose body fat and you get hungry? It fucking sucks. You ever try to get closer to God and temptations get stronger? And then you do something that you know is in alignment with God and then you feel bad about yourself? It fucking hurts. Growth does not come without pain. And a lot of people avoid the discomfort of the daily life, of what they need to do to get where they want to go. So they go nowhere. They literally look the same right now as they did 6 months ago. Like, if you were the man who looks the same right now as you did 6 months ago, physically, if your life looks the same, if your relationships look the same, if your bank account looks the same, embarrassing. Embarrassing. Because you have been consistent, showing up to work, showing up to the gym, showing up for yourself, but you get the same results. And it's because of the one fact of that you haven't gone into the direction of discomfort. You haven't challenged yourself to become more of a man. You've just woken up and done the same easy thing over and over and over, and you've done what's normal, and that's what's kept you normal. Understand that. Do you seriously think that you're ever going to get extraordinary results if you do the same thing over and over? Right? If every single day is comfortable, you don't feel any pain throughout it. Nothing angers you, nothing pisses you off, you face no problem, you go through no challenge. Do you realistically think that you're gonna wake up tomorrow and be any better at all? No. That's why I hate the 1% a day bullshit. Get 1% better a day. That sets men's expectations to be, well, if I just push a little, I'm gonna get somewheres. Okay, if you push 1% into pain, statistically, you're gonna get somewheres. Fucking nerd. You're not gonna get anywheres. 1% better a day. Dude, you may need to go through 50% of, let's say, you may need to push 50% better every single day. And so just think about it this way. However much you're growing, there's gonna be an equal amount of pain. Just accept that for the rest of your life. There will be an equal amount of pain, and there will be an equal amount of pain when it comes to achieve your goals. You have a level 7 goal, it's going to be a level 7 pain to get there, okay? But there will be an exponential amount of reward on the other side, and that's what most people miss. Because I get that maybe you don't want to pay the price of like a level 7 pain to achieve a level 7 goal. Like sometimes, like, I get that, I'm going to do it either way because I understand on the other side there's going to be an exponential growth. But what I mean by that is, like, there's a certain amount of pain you have to endure to go through whatever you got to go through to achieve your goal. But then, like, months down the road, that exponential growth that you get from that, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Holy shit, that's good. Shout out to my girlfriend. Oh, she's right here. Check her out. That's gonna be the thumbnail right there. She's gonna hate me for this one. I'm gonna crash if I don't figure out what I'm doing here. She got me this Yeti though. It's for my birthday. I love it. It's one of my favorite birthday gifts. Actually, next to this one. That's the thumbnail right there. I know I'm gonna get some comments. Stop sexualizing your girlfriend for content. Shut up, nerd. You don't even have a girlfriend. Even if you did, you couldn't sexualize her because she's ugly. At least I have a girlfriend that I can sexualize because she's beautiful. And she's hot. And she has a big booty. And she's even more beautiful, if I didn't mention that. Oh my god. But I want you to seriously think about this because a lot of people are so stuck, focused on, like, honestly, the next minute of their life, because we live in, like, such a short-term world where everyone's scrolling, so nobody has an attention span longer than a minute. Like, we're 15 minutes into this video, like 99% of people have already clicked off it. The 1% of you that are actually still in this video maybe actually have a chance at this. But like, think 10 years ahead. 10 years, 20 years. No. 30 years. I want to challenge you. Can you actually sit down with yourself and think? Like, think it through. Where would the current version of me end up in 30 years? Let's say nothing changes. Seriously. Because there is a big chance that nothing changes. If nothing's changed the past 6 months, why would things change over the past 3 years? Okay, I get things are gonna change, but like, how dramatically? That's the real question, okay? Is there actually gonna be like, whoa, you are a different person? Or is it gonna be like, oh yeah, 29 years and 6 months have gone by, and you've gotten older, and yeah, you gained a bit of muscle and gained a bit of fat, and you had some kids, and you got married. Like, no shit, that's gonna happen with time, okay? I'm talking about, think 30 years ahead, where does the current version of yourself actually end up? And like, where could you end up in 30 years if you truly decided, like, no, I'm gonna become so fucking badass. Like, I am going to push myself incredibly hard every single day to the max, and then even past the max, and then once I get to what I think is my max, I'm gonna go even harder and harder and harder. You know what I do? I wake up every single day and I ask myself, how can I push myself even more today? Yesterday, I slept 6 hours and I worked all day, and I banged out 5 videos, and I made $3,000. How can I push myself even harder today? Most men will wake up and be like, holy fucking shit, I crushed it yesterday. Let me go slower today. Let me hang out with my girlfriend. Let me smoke some weed. That's what most men kind of do. I want every single day harder and harder and harder, because like, I'm just so curious what could be my potential. And that's what makes a man badass. Is he does everything for the growth of his character. There's a big difference right there. Doing things for the growth of your character and doing things for the goal. Most people achieve no goals because they do things for the goal. People who achieve their goals go after their goals for the growth of their character. And I know this because I've met a lot of successful people in my life. A lot. None of them care about their outcomes. They don't care about the Ferrari they drive, the Lamborghini. They don't care about the million YouTube subscribers they have. They don't care about the 100,000 followers on Instagram. It's nice. What they really fucking love is who they have become in that process. But where a lot of losers sit is they look at the people with the achievements and they go, oh, I would love that achievement. And then as soon as it comes time to take action towards that achievement, they go, oh, I don't want to do what it takes. They don't literally say that, but they figuratively, in the physical world, back down from what it takes to move the needle ahead towards their goals. That's why losers stay losers. That's why winners stay winners. Winners do it for the growth of their character. Losers do it to try to achieve their goals. But they completely ignore the personal development that they have to do on the inside. That's why they stay a bitch. That's why their girlfriend is drier than the Sahara Desert, because inside they are a bitch. They are a bitch. There's nothing deeply fucking amazing and sexy about them. And so what I was saying there, think 30 years down the road. Do you want to be the guy who maybe on the outside has some things figured out, but on the inside, he's kind of a bitch, he's kind of soft, he kind of runs away from his problems, he kind of lets the woman run the relationship, and then you end up building a family with her and getting cheated on, and now at 50 you're divorced, and you have to kind of like restart your whole life, because you weren't enough of a man to keep her interested in you for life. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen to me at all. Not at all. Every single 6 months, I will look different. So every single 6 months, my girlfriend will have a more badass man that will continue to gain her interest my entire life. Up until maybe I'm 80. And then I probably won't give a fuck anymore. But up until then, I'm focused on making sure I look different every 6 months. Not only because I want to, but because I need to. I can't just slow down. I can't just tolerate averageness, because I'm going to start tolerating averageness everywhere. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. Everybody in your life is going to be a reflection of who you are. So take a look around. Do you like what you see in the external? It's fine if you don't, but it's not okay if you continue to tolerate it, because it's within your capacity to change. I've seen some men probably in worse positions than you would ever be in make the most massive transformation, because they decide to say enough is enough, I'm just going to take action. And you know what's funny? The guys that are in the worst position to take action typically are the guys that take action. For example, I'm thinking about my client Justin. He's one of the first clients I ever had when I started coaching. He had so many vices and addictions. I'm talking like, I don't even want to name it, because he's named it before, but lots of hard drugs, addictions, alcohol, bad friend groups, a lot of bullshit. And he was fat. He was like 300 pounds almost. At 27 years old. He was in no position to really take action. But he decided one day enough was enough. He hopped on. He mentally committed. He financially committed. He committed in all ways, shapes, or forms. And over 3 years, he never missed a single check-in. He went from a guy in a very, very bad situation where his family was losing their lives to health issues, and he was going down that same path. And people were losing their lives to drugs and alcohol, and he was going down that same path. And he changed his life all the way around. And since then, it's been up and up and up from him, from what I can see. And so part of the reason why people actually don't make the change, part of the reason why people don't become more badass, part of the reason why your girl likes you for 6 months and then she's drier than fucking you leave a fucking grape out in the sun for 3 days, it's because you just haven't grown. You're still the same person she met. Matter of fact, you were better when she met you, because you actually had some drive inside of you. You were actually ambitious. Then maybe you got with her and you got comfortable. And one thing I want to say, being comfortable is a worse place to be than being at rock bottom. Because when you're comfortable, the next 10 years of your life will look exactly how your life looks right now. But when you're at rock bottom, the only way is up. And when you hit rock bottom, typically I notice people decide, you know what, I'm going to make the change. Because you just feel so much pain that you can no longer tolerate the life you were giving yourself. And so I would rather more men hit rock bottom than stay comfortable. Like, seriously. Comfort is the biggest, worst drug in this world. Worse than fucking crack cocaine, bro. Because that, like, imagine this. I don't know about your faith, but God's real, Christ is real, okay? In my book. How would you feel showing up on Judgment Day to your Father and Him kind of doing a life review with you And he looks at you and he goes, son, good job. You became everything you could have became in the time I gave you on this earth. And I'm very grateful for your gratitude to the one life I gave you. And I'm grateful that you saw all the opportunities that presented themselves as pain, but you saw as growth that you pushed through. Just imagine God's talking to you like this. Wouldn't you like that? Now imagine on the flip side. You show up, Judgment Day, life review. God goes, my son, this is what I wanted. This is what I intended when I was creating you. Now you have become the fraction of a man that I created with my vision. All of the excuses you made for why you couldn't do this or that, you should have leaned on me for your faith. All the times you thought you couldn't make it through that, you should have leaned on me to take your problems away. Whenever I tried to challenge you so that you could grow and become a better man to accomplish more with this one life, you backed down, you got scared. Now I love you, because it was your first time living. But I gotta say, your ignorance, that shit right there just cost you 3/4 of the life that you could have lived. 3/4 of the man that you could have became. Which one do you want? Oh no, but I don't believe in heaven, but that isn't gonna happen, but like, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna shut the fuck up, dude. Just take a look at your actions. Seriously. Because your actions do not lie. Your words can lie. You can lie to yourself all day. Fuck. I even lie to myself sometimes. Then I always go back to, let's look at my actions, Ryan. Let's be accountable. Accountable stands for accounting for one's actions. And if you have nobody to hold you accountable to who you should be becoming, you're fucked. Fuck, I'm the coach for people. I'm the coach for coaches who coach people as well. Like, I coach coaches who coach people, and I coach my own people, and I have coaches. Because I need that. I need people who see my potential and hold me accountable to the actions I should be taking. If I don't take them, they go, hey, you kind of fucked up. I understand, blah, 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 but you can do better, and I want to see you do better. Those are the type of men you need in your life. Because let's be honest, humans are faulted. And what we're faulted with is being way better at coaching other people than coaching ourselves. And so these people who think like AI or some fucking electronic service is gonna be a better option as a coach are fucking retarded, because you're still coaching yourself in that scenario. Was there a drug deal going on? You need real men in your life who are going to hold you accountable. Alright. Now I am back home to my great big old house here in Austin, Texas. So, I'm gonna go eat, get more jacked, recover, go crush a couple more hours of work, stay up till late, get a couple hours of sleep, wake up and do it all over again. Because you know why? I'm 23. Just turned 23. And you only live your 20s once. You only get to do it once. This is the one time in your life where you have everything to gain and nothing to lose. Stop playing small. Stop playing scared. Or else somebody else is going to get your girl more wet than you.